Let's go to Carolina's last year, their opponent in the Eastern Conference Final. My pick to win the Cup this year.
Oh, yeah?
As of a few weeks ago.
Florida Panthers.
The Florida Panthers. So we said someone's going to grab Tarasenko. Somebody's got to grab him. Somebody's going to take him. They're going to retain. I don't even think they did retain, did they? I didn't write it down.
Did they?
But
I don't think they did.
I don't know that they did.
Jack shit for him.
So Ottawa trades Tarasenko.
Just traded this empty bottle of Prime for him is basically what they got back.
Oh dear.
Cutting
to the bone there.
It was
this is what they got.
Fair enough. Before the return, the preamble is he had a no trade clause, so he was heavily involved in choosing who he went to.
He chose where,
and he essentially chose Florida. So same thing like with Philly and Claude Giroux a couple years ago.
Yeah, I wonder if Giroux told him he was like, "Don't do it, man."
you don't have like any leverage there.
You don't have any leverage in that situation.
So
for sure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's that situation.
Yeah, your leverage would have been don't sign a guy to a 1-year contract and give him a no trade clause.
That's awful. That's awful.
That's an underratedly terrible move by Pierre Dorian, who, I mean, he's gone now, so there you go, Sens fans. But
that's terrible.
Because you have to, like, I know they were planning on taking a step, but as a team who was near the bottom of the standings last year, you have to allow for the fact that you
gotta have insurance
still,
man.
And you might stumble still, and a guy who is like that, where it's going to be an expiring deal, and he's a later in the years kind of guy, and has a good pass, where you could probably easily trade him at the trade deadline. You can't do that.
But he also hasn't been great over the last couple seasons either. Like the Tarasenko from what? St. Louis? Is that where he was before?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Tarasenko of St. Louis is not the same player as he was, or as he is now.
No.
Like, yeah, I know we read his stats off last week, and he's having a decent season, so I get it, right?
But this is like
exactly what you're saying. Like, you're thinking that you're going to be good. You have hopes that you're going to be good. It's showing that you possibly could. So then you add this piece, and then say, by the way, we're going to let you just write your destiny if things don't go right here.
That's bad, man.
You want to be even more mad about it? Because I just found the NHL.com article, and they retained half of his salary.
Oh.
At least it's only this year.
Yes, but
all
like
right, you
the
gotta
fact
just
that
wipe
they
that.
retained...
You gotta just wipe it out of your brain. You know,
because Dorian's gone now.
Just wipe it.
Yeah. What was the return? Did we even say it?
I will tell you right now. They receive a 2025 third and a conditional 2024 fourth. Ass cheeks.
Yeah.
And
I'm just bringing up his. I'm bringing his.
When this trade happened, you guys compared it to the. Oh Jesus, who was it? The guy that Vegas got from Washington.
Mantha.
Yes, if you compare those two, it looks real bad because Tarasenko has a track record of being a far more skilled, more points producing player, obviously, and I think they got less. The Sens got less than Washington got from Mantha.
You want to know something? You know, he admittedly isn't what he was in St. Louis and whatever, but he wasn't having a bad year. He had in 59 games, he has 19 goals, 25 assists for 44 points, and it was a plus 16 on the Sens.
Plus 16, Jesus.
Another team where if you have a plus, then you're doing something right, I guess.
That's a lot of plus too.
Yeah,
that's surprising.
It's one of those things where like. If plus or minus is going really far in one direction, that's when it starts to mean something.
Anyway, back to Florida. Anything else other than that?
Yeah, who'd they grab?
They took Buffalo's captain.
Yes.
Kyle Okposo. Yep. And Buffalo gets Sajalin.
Was he even playing though?
Yes.
He was.
This guy. This is a guy that I would always be like, they should really get rid of that guy. Because no offense to him, but that dude, he ain't made for today's NHL. He's not very fast. He's not super skilled.
Yeah, but the
he's
reason
probably gonna do fine in the playoffs, but like in the regular season.
So my boss is a Sabres fan, and he talks about Buffalo all the time, and the things he hears and reads and stuff say that players in Buffalo loved Okposo because he's a great leader, but he's obviously well past his prime at this point.
So, I mean, props to Buffalo for getting something They got 24, 7th, and Sjalen, which I am assuming is a prospect. Don't know what position, but.
And I don't hate that bet by Florida as like him being like probably a third or ideally fourth line. Like that's a really good fourth liner right there. Like if you slot him in on the fourth line, he I think could probably bang and crash and do some stuff.
And he will. And he is the kind of player that is going to play hard for you, no matter where you stick him.
Right.
He's gonna put however long he plays. It'll be a quality, however many minutes it is.
He's not gonna dog it like
PLD. You useless sack of shit.
Jesus.
I'm just.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm just kidding. He's a sack of turds. Okay.
Is that like a step or two down from sack of shit?
Yeah, it's less cussing, less cuss words. All right. I think that's all Florida grabbed, right? They might have had another depth guy, but I don't have anything else written down.
Think of anything? Yeah, I can't think of anything like significant. No.
Yep. So we'll go to.
They don't really need anything. Jesus Christ, their fucking forwards are.
It's true. Very true.
The world right now.
They are
those three. I mean, when I think of Florida's forwards right now, just because of how I swing it to fantasy quick for a second, how I had fantasy set up, I don't even think about Tkachuk. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to have one or two of those guys.
You take Tkachuk off the team, they're still winning.
Yeah.
I question that. Yep. I question that.
I think they'd still be good, but I mean, they're first. They're up near first in the conference, right? I don't know if they still are, but they're up there. They probably would be like around 8th.
I think Reinhardt's probably. I would bet Reinhardt's their points leader this season.
They are first in the conference, 92 points. Boston Bruins 1 point behind them. But no, Matthew Tkachuk he's the guy there. Like,
oh, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
And I think so. Honestly, the Tkachuk for what the fuck's that guy? Huberdeau. The Tkachuk for Huberdeau trade
and Weegar.
Yes, that has simultaneously led to Florida skyrocketing and Calgary plummeting. Like that trade right there is the reason that those teams are in the situation that they're in.
You generally don't win the trade when you give up the best player. No.
But to wrap it up, Matthew Tkachuk brought his identity and forced it onto the Florida Panthers, and now they are the best team in possibly the league.
They're so well designed to do well in the playoffs too. They have such a good mentality and style of play for it. They're gonna be scary.
They're gonna be a problem.
They better be able to afford Reinhardt at the end of the season. Otherwise,
that's going to be interesting.
Because Nick, you were right. He is leading them in points. He's over Tkachuk right now.
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt. Yeah. Reinhardt and Barkov must be both like right near each other
because they work.
No, yeah. Reinhardt has 76. Then it is Tkachuk with 72, and then Verhaeghe with 64. And Barkov with 63.
Yeah. Balanced scoring.
Yeah. And then they're adding Tarasenko into that. They got Evan Rodriguez. They're going to be Sam Bennett. Yeah, Sam Bennett. Their forward core is.
Listen, they're first in. Let me look at the damn standings, man.
Yeah,
they're first in the league. They're first in the league.
They're first in the league.
First in the league.
The problem in the playoffs will be their problem that they have every single season is how reliable is Bobby going to be.
That is where it hinges. That is what I don't believe you. I don't believe you were on that episode, Nick, where we talked about the cup winner. We picked cup winners. That's what I said. I said it all hinges on the dude in net. If he plays well,
I want to look at his stats this year.
A better shot than most, I'd say.
Right. Well, this year he has played in 46 games. Guess how many of them he's won?
40.
Well, okay, it's not that good.
39.
It's good, but it's not that good. Still a little too high.
Probably like 28, 29. Yeah, it's a good guess.
It's in the 30s. It's 31.
Oh, shit.
But still,
right.
31 of 46 games, 918 save percentage.
Yeah, he's on it right now. As long as
that's pretty good.
As long as he stays the same, they're gonna. If he stays the same, they win. I'm sorry.
Well, but he's gonna have a bit easier of a time staying the same this year because they're playing like leagues better in front of him than they did last year.
Yep.
Like they like made it like barely getting into the playoffs last year and then decided to go on a run.
Yeah.
Like they're in a good spot.
Yeah, well, wasn't last year the year that Tkachuk basically was like, "Here, let me put my backpack on and just carry you guys through these playoffs."
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do that right now because he's got 3 other guys that are right up there with him.
Yep.
Yeah, it happened right after
and
his
Barkov
dad
isn't
went
even
on,
one of them.
His dad went on Toronto radio when Florida was visiting and called the Panthers soft, and then they immediately were like, "Fuck you."
This is bullshit.
Yeah, it'll be their.
Right.
It'll. Yeah.